Well, hello there. What are you doing? What's up, Iron Worker Lob Chat? What are you doing? How's everybody? So I had to collect some. I had to collect my. I got an order in of food because there may be a hurricane where I live down here in New Orleans. So I ordered some food before that happened, so I could snack. Um, I'm going to be eating this for at least the first few minutes while I'm talking to you guys. I don't mind. I do talk with my mouth full sometimes. I think because I worked at a Greek restaurant, and they have a different attitude about eating food. They sit down and they eat food. It's like Italians and Greeks. They could be eating and talking at the same time, and just doesn't bother anyone. Other cultures, they sit down and they're like silent and they like into their food, but the culture is different. I don't know. I have friends that cannot stand that I do it, but I do it on purpose to them because I don't have to. I could, close your mouth when you're eating, but I already know better. You're not supposed to close your mouth while you eat. You should be breathing. You should be letting oxygen go into your mouth because it's interacting with the food, and your teeth also are piezoelectric, so you get energy from the air as well as the food. So you should be breathing in your mouth while you eat sometimes. You shouldn't be like You shouldn't be like a heifer about it. But yeah, welcome. I got myself a falafel. Funny enough, so it's a Middle Eastern place. They also sell Belgian fries. So falafel and Belgian fries. That's what I'm doing. Snacking on that. And we'll talk about the plasma apocalypse that's occurring. We'll talk about why the skies in Oregon and California are red. We're going to talk about direct energy weapons. Um, hmm. We'll look at this from another. We'll talk about the Anunnaki, the Anukai. I like to say Anukai. It's connected to like Anakin Skywalker, the Anunnaki, because they're Skywalkers. They live in the sky, like they're cloaked up in ships. And we'll also talk about our. Remember back in the 90s, 2000s, and the big thing was like, oh, we're destroying the ozone layer with all of these chemicals and, excuse me, all these chemicals and things that we're using. And then it just went away. No one's talking about it anymore. No one's talking about it anymore. And we'll talk about also chemtrails, what their use is, what they're doing. Let's see if I can put this story together for you properly so it makes sense. And we'll even talk about this whole thing that's happening with everywhere getting locked down and having the governments like stay inside. You got to social distance and all of this. There's a lot to do with the apocalypse. It's going to be zombie-esque, and it's going to be alien-esque. Watch the movie. Watch the movie Avatar. It'll give you a clue as to what's going on, what's going to happen. They're from a different realm, so they took bigger bodies. They're the blue-black people that the Anunnaki. But I mean, it's a dream world to begin with. It's like a different realm, but it's not. It's right there together. It's just overlaid. And so this thing that's going to occur will most likely be. This is why they're putting everyone into this scare of this lockdown, so people stay inside, because they don't want people to see what's going on outside. Because you'll shit your pants probably, like for real. Like you'd be like, what the? There's literally aliens. Oh, they've been here. Some of them are on the planet. Some of them are reptile beings. Some of them are, some are good, some are bad. Some are fallen angels. Some are demons. Some are, however you like to look at it. Um, yeah. Oh, let's see if anybody wants to say hello because they're here. Just say what up. And so I know that your typing is working. So then I know the chat room is open, because sometimes it locks up and freezes, and that's lame because I don't want to just sit here and talk to no one. You know what I'm saying? So if you can hear me, just type a letter or just say, what up, Zed? And I'll tell you the story of what's happening. Now, I could be wrong. Okay, Travis, what's up, yeah? What are you doing? here's the story of what's happening. I'll try to make it as concise as possible. And I'm going to wrap all of those things together up into one little fancy box for you. So this whole thing about people not being able to breathe, respirators, what people are doing to, what's up, Sigma? Why they're making people wear masks, what altitude training is, what hypoxia is, your lung gauge, your capacity to take oxygen in, why people can't sleep. Like, my sleeping patterns have been just trash. Like, I'm awake all the time. Like, I've in the past 4 days, I've only slept for like 3 hours. Crazy, right? It has to do with people's sensitivity to the changing of the plasma, because the plasma in our air is all has to do with the corona of the sun's corona, and it also has to do with the, whether you think it's a dome or a field of energy. They used to call it our ozone layer. The ozone layer is to me, I think, is just a toroidal field of a different type of energy. Look at that. Am I allowed to say this? Are they gonna let me? No, sometimes that just happens, just for, I don't know, just like, I don't think anybody should have done on purpose. If it happens again, then I'll know they don't want me saying it, but only the right people come here to hear this message, this idea. So our ozone layer is being depleted, not necessarily from us using aerosols and things on this planet, but more that there's other realms. There's people like, there's no such thing as outer space. Yes, there is. If there's an inner space, there's an outer space. It must exist. And these you'd call them the aliens, the Anunnaki, that are spoken of, and the gods coming back. They were the tall first realm of people that came out, the black, purple, blue people. Now they're in cloaked ships all over our realm right now. Inside of our ozone layer, and the ozone layer is going to continually get depleted. I don't know exactly how that occurred. It could have been partially the people on this realm, which you'd call the I don't know if you'd call them the fallen ones, but I mean, I guess you could. Some of them are demons that are on the come up, and they came to this realm, or you call them some of them, I think they're reptilian shapeshifters. There's a possibility, you know. nothing's out of bounds in this game. And this thing we're playing here. So whatever they are, they were trying to get off of this realm. They were trying to go somewhere else. They came here, they harvested our energy, they harvested our land, they harvested like who we are. Like the, I don't know, original, aboriginal, you know, that kind of thing, like the people that were here. And so as they've made their way there, you can look up videos. There's tons of them. This is not somebody just screwing around with the computer. This is just like somebody showing you cloaked up ships in the sky, and you can see them. These weird cloud formations. that's cloaked ships. You think you, just because you can't be invisible, it's because you don't have those superpowers again. You've been out of your body, maybe you've been in dreams. You can do those things. They figured out how to do it here, and they have advanced weaponry. And what the people here have been doing, they were trying to get out of this realm, because they knew the Anunnaki were coming back. They knew there was a Time Lord. The Anunnaki are from the outer realm. They're most likely from Hyperborea. There's more. If I say our universe or our solar system is here on Gaia, this Earth plane, and then there's other realms outside of us, rings. And then outside of that, there's other dimensions. And they're from an outer ring of this realm. They're the ancient ones from here. And so they've had a long time to figure out how to do things that other people cannot do. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. There's a reason why melanated people there's something about their blood, there's something about them that is stronger in every way. And it's part of their lineage. So the closer they are to like darker melanated, you'll find their musculature system functions differently. Their hair is different. Their antennas are different. So the people that are here they're fucking things up, they've been shooting things like rockets and things at the ozone layer, trying to figure out how to break it so they could get out of here, so they didn't have to get, have these Anunnaki come back and just squash them, because they knew they couldn't battle them. But now that they're here, they're like, well, I guess we need to get the army set up in order. We need to have the military set up. It's not to put people into concentration camps. It's not for that reason. I mean, but they're using what they can about this whole COVIDian stuff. COVIDian crows to death. It's a cult. They're using this whole thing to get people to stay inside, because it will, in one way, keep people safe. So there are some good people in the government, and in a bad way, it's it's keeping people from getting the next form of plasma as much as they should. You should be getting more vitamin D, more plasma, more as that sun charge, because your blood type, your DNA is going to change, and some people's DNA will change into probably, you'll see what they actually are. Maybe have putting glasses on, they live. You'll see what they are, and and people will become like, watch all the movies about the zombie apocalypse. And that's a real thing. People start turning into zombies. And then they're telling everybody else to stay inside. Why? To keep you safe from that, and also because they don't need everybody running around in the streets while they're trying to, they're trying to have a war with these Anunnaki, right? That are flying around in. And this sounds fantastical but what's more reasonable? Because it's been very fully observed that if they were going to keep this planet and keep us all knocked down and enslave us all, they could have done it years ago. They would have never given us the internet. They would have. It already been done, but it hasn't been, and that's not what their point of doing this is. Weather modification and the direct energy weapons, some of it is Hollywood movie sites, and it's nobody was living in those houses. They already moved those people out to somewhere else. It's all an act. But they do have direct energy weapons to destroy some things. So they destroy the property, and they start some fires. I mean, some people that are arsonists working for these different organizations, and you have some of it is direct energy weapons. And by putting these fires, starting all these fires all over Oregon and California, people just assume it's this smoke cloud, because they're using everybody knows that the airplanes, whether you think whatever's coming out of there, whether it's chemicals, whatever they're doing with that, it's covering up the sky. It's giving another layer to the sky. There's more than one layers. And so they've figured out what abronium and different types of chemicals to put in the sky, so they can cloak off what's going on above it. But still, the red skies are not because of fires. Fires don't make a red sky. That's ill. That's idiotic. It would make a gray sky if there's too much smoke. But you see red skies because people are not intelligent. They're just not. They won't think about it. They go, oh, that's the fires. That's what that is. And the smoke, it's from the. No, they've been using airplanes to really just make clouds up in there to cover up what's going on above it, which is that the plasma realm that we live inside of, a whatever the auric field is around the planet, is getting destroyed. And it's going to change the energy here quite a bit. And so why do they want everybody practicing safe social distancing? Because some people's powers will get upgraded. Some people will turn into zombies and act a fool and whatever, and other people, they'll have superpowers, quite literally, where they probably won't. And so if we go outside and we're within a certain space of somebody, you have an auric field as well. And your auric field probably extends about 6 feet outside of you, because that's about the average size of average size of the human's a little less than that, but 6 feet is a good practice for people, because they don't want them interacting. Because people will be all sick, but the people that are healthy and strong, they'll look like they've become X-Men. They used to be men, now they're gods, because they have, well, at least in the lowercase g, because they can do things like throw energy out of their hands in a big way. They're using the original, what your DNA should have been before it got all, it got effed with. Is why in the beginning, how did they make men? Well, it was a hybridization, and it was called, look into Lloyd Pye's theory of intervention theory. They took an original thing here and they put some of their DNA together so that they had a little bit of the power to understand them and work with them. But then they took a smaller species, smaller creature, right? And they hybrided up. We're hybrid. Some of us have more hybrid that they were not expecting, but most of it was just too hybrid. And this is why you see, okay, we came from monkeys. It's not a lie, because what they did is they were using a type of science. And so why do monkeys have hair on their back? We have hair on our chest. Why do I grow a beard? Why are monkeys vegetarian and somehow we need to eat meat? How is it when I say monkey, ape, whatever it came from, Planet of the Apes, why are they stronger than us? You know what I mean? If there's an advancement, there's an advancement not only in consciousness but in your physicality. So why would they make us weaker? So we couldn't fight back. So we were stupider and weaker, but smart enough just to follow orders, to be their slave species. So we could go mine things out of the they'll teach us something and we go mine the gold, because the story is that they're the original place they're from, their ozone layer got depleted and it was made of gold. So they needed to come and get gold from this planet and take it back to where they were. So they stole the gold from this planet and they're trying to leave with it. Why do you think we haven't had a gold standard in years? Have you ever really seen a bar of gold? Where do they just keep them in where vaults of what? All you trade is pieces of paper. So what's the trick here? Yeah, the Nibiru, the Nibiru, the NBA people, the Nephilim, the NFL people. You have Nibiru, Nephilim, and Anunnakis. So that would be look into the work look into Slave Species by Michael Tellinger. That'll give you a little piece of it too. So where are we going? So the red skies, the reason they're red, it's because there's an iron oxide that's being burnt. And an iron oxide, what happens is by breathing it in, it will give you lung problems. So this thing that people are getting sick or whatever, most of it are just old people and just killing off old people, because it's going to happen anyways. There wasn't anything they could do about it, because the energy goes up. Old people can't handle the extra energy. So what they're doing by making everyone wear masks is so that some people, they'll learn to deal with hypoxia and learn to breathe differently and make their lungs bigger. So that as this realm changes, there's going to be, for some people, I've heard you'll bleed out of your ears, you'll bleed out of your eyes, you might bleed out of your nose, you'll have trouble breathing, and this will be going on. I think it will be in December, but could be any day. But I think the timing is so perfect because of the Saturnian, the first sun, the we say black sun, the black hole sun. That's Saturnian. Saturn is the sun of Hyperborea, which is the outer realm. And that, I think, is connected completely to why it's black. And we always go, people are like, ooh, time lords, timekeepers, because they know what time it is. And so, of course, they gave us a book, and it was heavily encoded. It was called the Bible and the Quran. The Bible is about the sun, and the Quran is about the moon. But there's still similar stories in there. It's about the stars, it's about the body, and it's about time. It's about how time works. So they got people putting masks on to get them used to basically that difficulty breathing that people have, apparently. I'm an air sign, so I have a very big chest. I take deeper breaths most of the time, so it's not as much of an issue for me. Some people that have smaller lungs, smaller chest, if they breathe shallow, it will teach you by putting that mask on that you need to take deeper breaths. You will have to. I mean, breathing out and having that little bit of hypoxia and breathing that crap back in, not great, but you're going to have to, that's going to be part of what happens anyways, as soon as our ozone layer is gone. And then as things balance out, as whatever's outside of this realm gets put into this realm, it's going to be a different place. It's going to be a different color. I think the sky will end up being, a lot of people think it will be green because of the aurora borealis, but I think perhaps it might go to purple. This is the transition from red to blue shift gives you a purple shift. And this is why people have higher powers, because purple is connected to your top chakra. your pineal gland. And what else are they doing? They're finding people that are dumb enough, and they're doing everything they can. They got the little scanners. They're shooting radiation into your pineal gland. They want you to go in and put that swab up your nose. They're trying to damage your pineal gland. They're trying to break it. That's the bad portion of it, you know. So yeah, I think that's as far as I can go with this right now. But I think it. There's a ramp up, and the ramp up is this. They had to start it early because they understood psychology to such a high level. Of if they start getting people trained now, then come December, they're going to just be used to it. They're going to be wearing a mask anyways. There's some people that are in there that already knew that. Somebody was doing it for a good reason. Somebody was doing it bad for bad reason. You know, it just depends on who you think it's serving. But the cloaked ships, man, they're huge. They're gigantic. And what they say is the planet of Nibiru, planet X, planet 9, whatever they call it, it's going to go basically go in front of the sun. And that planet might just be a giant starship. We don't know. I mean, how could you really know? Like, nobody even really knows what the sun is or the moon is. We only take guesses at it. I have a couple ideas of what the stars and the sun and the moon are. I mean, I think the moon is a map and it's an energy draining system. And I think the sun is a charging system. And this is why if you look back into the really ancient work of, what's his name? He used to do stuff with, yeah, it's called mouth to ear. This is how they would tell the stories because they didn't write anything down. They would just tell it. So they remembered the story. So this is like an ancient wisdom keeper from, what tribe is he from? I mean, there's a lot of them out there. But the story was that there was a moon that got parked in the sky. And that parking of the moon in the sky is why it's an energy draining system and is connected to the things that are parasitic. This is why women, when they're having a period, it's the moon drawing that out of them. In a good way, it's helpful. In a bad way, I mean, women should not be having cramps and periods for as long as they do, but they are because they eat garbage. But this system, they parked it in the sky. Why do you think you watch these movies, you say, oh, why is that ship right there, that big ball that in Star Wars? Was it Star Wars? There's that big ball. What's up, Hammock? And it's called, what do they call it in that? It's the moon, but they said it was parked in the sky. That was the ancient ones that said, oh, there was something got parked in the sky and everything was different after that, because that became a portal for other people from aliens, as you'd like to call them, from other realms to come into here. They made a portal from the other side. It was like making a giant black hole. Where the sun was the Son of Man, the Son of God, giving us energy, letting things grow. And then something changed and it started succubusing off this planet. And it has to do with the moon matrix. And as much as most people need a succubus on them, you know, there's old therapy where you take leeches and put them on you because your blood was no good, because you were eating garbage that you weren't supposed to be eating, but you were convinced to eat this garbage. So you can look up the word hijama, Hijamah. It's cupping. It's in Quran. People, Muslims, they practice this. Put a cup on your skin, and it pulls your sha, that's your blood, to the skin, and it lets it get pulled out through you, like, because most people, they got thick blood that is like got too much garbage in it, and so you pull the sha to the skin. You can also do wet cupping, which is where you jab yourself with needles and you pull your blood out, and then your blood becomes thinner and cleaner, and you have a thick clotted up blood. You'll know when it's clean, but most people, because their lymphatic system is not working very well. I can tell you my legs, I mean, on my toes, I get a little funk down there. You know, eat heavy, eat some garbage. What happens? It gets heavy down there, and you just clog up your blood. People have blood clots. They have blood clots all over their body, and they need to move that. They need to. And the easiest way to do that is, I mean, you can do all the practices. You do yoga, you can do stretching, you can do massage, you can do pressure point therapy, you can do acupuncture, they're all helpful, but hijajma, cupping, is really high form because it immediately you'll see you have a bruise there. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I have a bruise. It's not, but it's not a deep muscle bruise. It's a superficial bruise that goes away in like 2 to 3 days. And the funny thing is you can get a set of cups on Amazon for $30, maybe even less. For me, it's one of the best investments I made in healing things. And you put oil on it. You give yourself a massage with it, loosen up the muscles, get the blood moving. Yeah. So there's some things going on. Travis, I never heard of. I don't know who Gerald Kark is. Your biofield, Travis, is 90 feet from you. That's crazy. I wonder what mine is. Like when I'm unhealthy, it's probably no good. But I wonder what it is sometimes. I never thought about that. What's up? What's up, Machiavelli? What's up, Khan? What are you doing, man? Okay, Border Earth is right. I'm going backwards. Lusanda. What's up? My voice has the teaching tone on. It does a little bit. Yeah, I guess. Just enjoying some falafel. And I haven't got too much good sleep. And I made so many videos the other day. My throat was a little horsey, a little raspy, like Rasputin. They're past Antarctica. They're right next to us in the past Antarctica. Yeah, outlaw. Yeah, outside of Antarctica. That's the realm outside of us. That's until the next realm. Yeah, that's but it's really difficult unless if you've ever been to another realm, if you've got out of body, you go through a portal, and that portal to get to another realm is usually a star. You go to that. If you're not very aware, you'll still feel yourself going. Watch the movies. It's like that. It's a vortex, and you see it spinning, and it's like you can hear this noise, and because you're just going, beyond whatever you think light speed is to go to another realm, and you pop up there. So you were able to get through the realm, get through our Earth's auric field, Earth's outer core of a toroidal energetic field. I don't think it's a glass thing like that. I think it's just a density of, like, the ozone layer is a different density. It's like there's different structures and different types of water. They say there's water above and water below. We could be in water right now. How would you know? You're like a fish in water. Very thin water. But yeah, there you go. That's that. Yeah. Azul. Well, that only took me it took me less than 30 minutes to do that story. Good. I'll try to re-listen to that and clean it up and do another one for you guys pretty soon. And I'll add some material to it. See what else we can talk. Oh, you know what else I was going to get into? I was getting into this hurricane. Because I'm down in New Orleans. And so everybody, like, every time there's a hurricane, people are like, oh, you good? I'm like, certain parts of New Orleans might flood. Where I am, I'm beyond the city. I'm north of the city. So as the wind comes through, the buildings stop, pretty much stop the wind. Unless the hurricane chooses a path to the left or right, it's not going to go farther up. Usually if it goes to the left and doesn't hit Houston, there's no major cities there really. So it can make it through there. And that's a path that it takes most of the time. And that's why then all the rain and everything goes up into the Midwest. But since I've been here, I've never really experienced I've experienced flooding plenty of times. But major winds only a few times. Yeah. So so that's so apparently it's supposed to be. You guys can look outside with me. Let's see if this is the calm. It looks beautiful. I don't see the clouds. No, nothing yet. Apparently it was supposed to hit the coast. I think it's already hit the coast. My friend lives down near the bayou, like way down, right? So she goes over bridges and see all the boats coming in. They were like taking the people off like for the Coast Guard and the oil rigs, and there are a lot of oil rigs around Houston right here. They were going out and picking them up and bringing them back to land because they don't want them to be stuck out there in that. Um, but yeah, I don't like it to. I mean, if anything knows about what happened with the flood, in that wasn't caused by too much rain or too much wind. It was caused by someone almost certainly bombing it. It was part of the, you'd call them the, um, I don't know what you'd want, just government type people, right? People that were like trying to, you know, turn land into less value so they can rebuild it and make money off it and control the game board. Because I knew people that stayed here too. I didn't live here then, but I've talked to people that stayed during it, and they're like they didn't live in areas that got flooded. A lot of the city was very flooded because they broke the levee. The hurricane didn't break it. That was that was completely bomb oriented. There's plenty of people you can't find. It's hard to find the videos now. There used to be a lot of videos out. People like, yo, I was here. I lived over near there. I heard an explosion. I heard many explosions. There's lots of people like they bombed that shit. So, I mean, whatever. I'm just saying now that they don't have time to do that bullshit. It doesn't make any sense for them to. So we'll probably get a little bit of water. I've been here when there's been floods, like heavy rain. It backs things up here. You know why? You know why things get backed up here? Because of Mardi Gras. Because of Mardi Gras. What happens on Mardi Gras? They throw all of these beads and all of these things, and we're all standing there catching them. And there's right there is a drain pipe, and it goes on for weeks on end, just all day long. And if it hits the ground, if you're from here, you don't pick it up. You know, so a lot of that shit goes right in there, just falls right in there, and it clogs that up. And so it's easy to have, even though the it, there's a few parts of New Orleans I believe that's below sea level, right? And so those will definitely flood, but a lot of it's the backup is because of the drain systems. It's just slow draining. Like so they need to go down there and clean that up, and I don't think they do that. So so yeah, it might flood down the street a little bit, but it's even the couple things I read is just supposed to be high winds. It said like 20% chance of showers. So we'll see. It'll be something no less. Whatever. I've only once left the city because of a hurricane, and imagine that nothing really even happened. I left and got a hotel room just north of here, just in case, because I did live in a place. I lived in an area that it would flood there, so it was better that I'd made that choice, I suppose. Even though I've lived in. It's funny, my a couple times. Like my friend lived in the city, and there'd be like 2 feet of water, and then she lived in a really nice building. So it's like all of these nice buildings. Like they're just like every other day they're like, is there going to be heavy rains today? Do we have to put the bags up at the door so we don't have to, drain the building out on the first floor again? Yeah. Of course, Travis. Hey, yeah, Con. We'll I think we'll go over to the if you guys want to. You guys know I'm doing live chats, so you guys I can see your faces. I got myself a Zoom room. I purchased that, and you guys can come over and talk to me, so I don't have to talk this entire time. Even though I know you guys love the sound of my voice, and I'm a great storyteller. I know this. But it's nice once in a while to get to hear you guys talk. And depending on who shows up, sometimes people got instruments. We can screen share, and it gets rid of if anybody wants to play music or something, and we can just vibe out in there. Cool. And then I'll be also turning that into a classroom. I don't really have like a curriculum per se. I have all of my work that I've done, and I know where it fits into things. So what we'll do is maybe pick a week if you guys want. I'm gonna charge you guys to get into it though. Just if we're doing these hangouts, I'm not gonna charge anybody. We'll just hang out and just talk shit. But once I do the classroom setting, it would be basically like I mute everyone's thing, raise your hand if you want to talk, kind of stuff. And I'll do like a curriculum on etymology, the alphabet. I'll do it on numerology. We'll do it on astrology. We'll do it on whatever you want. And we'll do that so that way you guys don't have to go scroll through 2,000 videos of mine that are anywhere from an hour to 6 hours long. you know, because that you just obviously don't have time for that. And I'll be able to go through some of my old material and clean it up a little bit. But we'll do that in the future. But today, if you want to, I will get a Zoom room. I'll get my Zoom room open up on my other tablet over here, and you guys can join. Is that a yay or an A from everybody? Cicero Sanchez. I already, yeah, at the beginning of this. I mean, I just was talking about cloak ships and UFOs. There's a great Instagram channel called Cloaked Ships. Go check it out. Hundreds and hundreds of videos of people that all over the world that send him videos of like, yo, look at this crazy stuff. Like, you know, so I get it. Some UFOs are, you know, our government's projects trying to figure out how to do something, but then there's other ones that like, nope, that's not our government doing it. That's literally cloaked ships from another realm that are almost certainly Anunnaki ships that are invisible and use clouds to cloak. That's about the size of it. What's up, Gideon? Is that Jay Marley? I only talk 98% of the time on Zoom. Now that is funny because I try not to, because usually we get an opportunity to, like, if someone has an instrument, you know, we got some two great guitars that come through, a couple people that play bongos or drums that didn't have them there, or was like late and they're like, I can't play the drums right now. Jay Marley being one of them. Yeah, so we just jam out. We have a jam session, and I'll just sit here and listen, because I don't play any instruments. I mean, I do. I play analog synthesizers. I can make beats. I mean, I could screw around on the drums. Not really. Lexington St. Bernard, a giant house in the street. Yeah, I mean, the flooding was outlandish. Yeah, St. Bernard, interesting neighborhood. I never lived over there. I've lived in 5 different places in New Orleans. I like to, like, you know, a little area, so I knew that part of town, and I like to get around on my feet or my bike or whatever. It is easy to get around. It's easy to get along in the streetcar or your bike or even walking, but, and every once in a while I'm like, okay, I made my friends here, you know, hung out these bars, then I'd move somewhere else. So I've lived in a few different spots. Cool. Never St. Bernard though. I said 7th Ward. Con, yes to the Zoom. Outlaw, funny you asked me that. One of the first videos I ever made on my channel, over 3 years ago, it was actually based on a writing I did about 8 years ago. Was about CERN, yeah. And why is everyone so concerned? They were trying to make a black hole, a portal. You can watch any of these movies, Stargate, with Stargate Atlantis, Stargate. They tried to make a Stargate because they wanted to be able to just weld their awake and aware. They wanted to be able to walk through a portal, through a star, as a Stargate, to another realm. So you watch them walk through there and they end up somewhere else. If you get yourself into the right state of mind and you go to sleep and you put your body into basically sleep paralysis, you can jump out of your body and do the same thing. You kind of always come back to this one. And I think they wanted to make a portal that they could do while they're awake and go, if we're going there, we're going through this portal. Which is, I know, interesting. Does that be an interesting thought? Like, here's a movie that they have this in. There was one time, what the hell was it? Well, they opened up a portal real time. It was like a black hole, and like they walked through and they walked to another realm, and I think they just sucked, you know, behind them. I forget. There was a couple movies like that, but normally it's like a technological black hole. I bet you could make a magical one if you were hyper aware. I mean, look at the Anunnaki. If they can cloak up ships and be basically invisible until they want their ships to even be noticed. And we'll do the Zoom room, yeah. Let me do that. So CERN I always put into the same category around, like, okay, that, and then it was right around when everybody was getting really, like, interested in the Mandela effect. And I thought there were some interesting things that were connected there. because they might have been, jumping, timelines and jumping. They might have been successful a few times. But you ever seen the movies where like they'll do it and then somebody ended up in a wall or something and they ended up they just couldn't project them to the right place? Like that could be a thing. Because I mean, think about it. If you try to if you don't know your if you don't know your latitude, your longitude, if you don't know where you are, you're not gonna know where you're going. I got out of body before. I'm like, oh, what realm I am at now? I didn't know. I was just like looking around. I was trying to talk to people, and they couldn't see me. They couldn't see me. Sometimes I'd be levitating, and I don't know if they couldn't see me, or because they were like, holy shit, is this dude levitating while sitting down there having coffee or something? But yeah, you have to know your parallax, you know. I forgot about that. And Gideon dances. I didn't know Gideon's actually like. Do you do that like for a living? Are you like a you like? I mean, are you in a dance crew or do you just like, you know, backup dance somewhere? Yeah, I forgot that. Gideon can dance. Yeah, I'll grab my other computer in a second. So Allah, does that make as part of your living? Cool. Yeah, see, I dance. I dance like a goof. Like people say I dance like a drunken shaman. Pretty right. Yeah. And not being able to, it's kind of like, because I like to walk differently. I don't like to, I move differently. I played sports my whole life. So, dancing was a good transition. And there's like no music and no dancing. And I'm just like, oh man, it's taking a toll on me because I literally, like the way I used to get energy out, I'd play basketball. You know what they did? They ripped down all the basketball hoops. There's no basketball hoops. I can't find one. There's one way across town. One. And it's like it's a garbage little hoop. Rest of them, basketball courts, they took down the hoops. So I can't play basketball. Uh, and you got a social distance, so then none of the leagues are open up to used to be able to play like soccer or whatever. So ain't open up. Bars are shut down, so ain't no jazz, ain't no music in the streets, ain't nobody going out. Everything's closed. Yeah. They called you as very spiritual. Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah, I mean, man, I'm in between. I mean, what is there but the arts, man? What is there but arts and dance? Life is a dance, right? Life is an art. Light is, yeah, life and light is art, man. And they're like, you cannot have your art. We need order, order. Do it this way. Stand this far away. Put this on your face. Oh, Axiom. Did they leave them up in New York? Because I seen a couple places in New York. Nah, they ripped them all down. Not the whole, not the backboard, just the rim. Just came over there, unscrewed the rim, took them down. Yep, mad retarded. Because at the beginning, for the first like 2 months, they were up. You could go play if you wanted to, and then they were like, nope, take them down. Yeah, yeah, man. So we're gonna do this live, and give me like 15 more minutes, and we'll start this. Maybe like 10 more. Let me see which computer I put it on. I think I put it on this other one. Had to get everything charged up just in case there's any power loss here, because I've already been here where there's been a power loss. I don't remember why it was. I think it was weather related too. But if they don't have backup generators, and I live in a pretty big building, which is weird. Um, but yeah, but if they fixed it, then we shouldn't have problems for a while. It's an old, but I mean, They gave your hoops back. So everything's open. See now here they still they don't let the bars open. They let the bars open for a little bit, and what happened was I mean, here was a stupid. It was a stupid. I mean, obviously it was all garbage because it was on the TV, right? It's people that were part of that team. You know what I'm saying? So they opened up Bourbon Street. Ain't no one gonna be on Bourbon Street with a mask on 6 feet away. It can't happen. So like, oh, I'll open it back. Everything's open back up, and everybody went out to Bourbon Street. They could have opened up everything but Bourbon Street because everyone on Bourbon Street, that's they make enough money. Everything's fine. The rest they could have left everything else open and it would at least been spread out. People would have been like, nah, everybody was just out doing the same dumb shit they'd be doing on Bourbon. And so somebody got the at the bar got it, and then somebody else did. Oh no, close everything down. So they closed all the bars back now. And now there's restaurants that I used to go to, and if they have a bar in the restaurant, you can't sit at the bar anymore. You can get a drink. Like some places, they're kind of like I don't care because if you're not on one of the major streets, if you know a little bar, you can sit at the bar. But all in all, nah, everything, and then a lot of places, restaurants closed because they were closed for how many months? They couldn't afford to pay their bills. Their employees what are their employees doing? They're gonna be like, hey, you want to come back after 3 months? Like they probably got another job delivering food, you know. So yeah, man. Let me see what's going on over here. I don't know which one did I download this on? Did I, 1 second. I think I put it on my other one. Zoomy? Zoom? Oh, I did. I put it on here. Good job. Good job, me. I was doing a simulcast the other day. We could continue that. I'll join here. Well, no, I gotta schedule. There we go. Schedule a meeting. Oh, you know what happened? You know what happened? Okay. I don't want to set it up on here because this is running so low on storage that it was and there's nothing I can really get rid of on here. I gotta get just a new card for it. Hold on. Let's try something else. We'll make this work somehow. I mean, because I can just do it on my phone, but if I do it on my phone, you got to wait there for me to set the room up on the phone, and then I can tell you the password, but I cannot. I don't believe I can keep both screens open on the phone at once. I could try. Let's see if it even gives me the option. No, I don't think it's going to give me the option. If I could do it side by side, I would. Oh, I remember what's happening. I was doing it side by side, and one of the audio would always cut out. I'd have to be clicked on that screen. That's what happened. I could do it side by side. That's right. So let me see if my other computer has any memoir. I'll probably just do it on my phone because this is just going to be. I can already tell this one's probably not running that good. Uh, Play Store. Where are you? Yeah, there's even stuff here that's not open that doesn't make a lot of reasons. It doesn't make a lot of sense that it's not open. Like like okay, the thing with the bathrooms not being open, so the park is open, but the bathrooms are closed. That's insane. So you go to the park, you can only be there for so long. What if you got to take a shit? What do? Person that's shitting outside. You go find something. Then you could drive around, find something that's open. That's gonna let you use the bathroom without buying something. Yeah, it turns into a whole thing. So, what just happened here? I just went to the Play Store, and it's you're playing now. You're playing with me. Okay, this is turning into a whole issue that I don't want to play with right now. So what I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna jump off of here, go to my Zoom, and then you guys will have to. Someone will have to write it down in there for me. Does that make sense? Let me go set it up. I'll be right back. So if it kicks you off, just jump back on. It did kick you off, but I got here. I'll be right back. Look at this to work. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, who's here? Here's the number. You gotta write this down. 822-9077. And then I gotta give you the rest of the room number. 822-9077. 2967. There's the numbers for the room, and then I'll give you the password. Once somebody writes that down, I'll read you the password. And you guys can talk to each other, and I can go give a shit. Anybody get that? Anybody here? Thank you, Jay Marlin. Here's the passcode. I'll be right back. 895452. Passcode is 895452. And I will start that meeting right now and then come back here. You guys can be in the room, chitty chat, and I will come back after I take a dump.